Hi all, I'm gonna make some clam chowder today. So, first thing, got 5 large potatoes from Costco, flour, I do a little fried shallots, garlic, cilantro, celery, whipping cream, secret weapon cheese, cream cheese, Italian butter, kosher salt. Never use regular salt, and the chopped sea clams from Costco, and I add a little sweet cream corn and chicken broth, and that should be it. So first thing I do is I'm gonna chop my potatoes and let that cook. All right, next can of chicken broth. Can of water to go with it, maybe 2 cans of water for 1 chicken broth. It's good. Alright, let's turn it up. Love this. Alright, and potatoes, and I took each of the 5 big large potatoes, cut them around 8 pieces, 8 wedges, kind of. You can cut them smaller if you want them cooked faster, etc. But just 8 stuff. Alright. Alright, I added another can of thing broth, so it's about 1 can of broth, 1 water, and then I'm gonna let that cook while I prepare the other things, which is dice the onions, and then I'm gonna saute those with some garlic before I put it in. Alright, next step is we're gonna saute the garlic and onions. So I'm gonna put healthy portion of olive oil. Take your garlic press. I love buying the Costco garlic, and then I freeze the cloves. So then I just take out as many cloves as I want, put them in the microwave for 15 seconds, and they're ready to be pressed and cooked. The reason why I cook the garlic is I don't want to put it directly into the chowder. I want to bring out the roasting of the garlic, give it a nice flavor, and it'll make the less bitter sometimes. So that's what I do with that. I'm gonna toast it, and then I'll add the onions. All right, next you see the onions are toasted a little bit. I'm gonna add, not the onions, the garlic, and then I'm gonna add these onions. And I'll saute that to bring out the onion flavors. What I've done is, this is, what do you call it, cilantro stock at the bottom. So I like to use the whole cilantro, so I use this for, what do you call it? Use it to add more flavor to the broth. Just toss it in there, like that. If you can't handle cilantro, like some people can't, then you can replace it with parsley. Do it that way. And then you're just gonna saute the onions a little bit to bring out the flavor. You don't want it brown, you just want it translucent almost. Alright, now that the onions are a little translucent, I can see translucent. Oh, the smell of the garlic, I love it. You can just dump it all on there, like that. And now go cut your celery. Celery and stuff you want to be at the end. Next, I'm gonna stick a stick of butter, or 2 sticks of butter, and the cream cheese in there to let it melt in there. also stick. There we go. Stick it in there. And I'll let these melt first before I put the cream in there. So let's let that settle. Alright, next, the cream. Mix that all up. And here I might add, you can add more cream later on if you want it more thick and things like that. Just add a little bit for now. Add some kosher salt. And then add Italian seasoning. And add some oregano. Okay. And for now, at this point, the potatoes should be kind of getting soft, not soft, but halfway there. That's what I think. Okay, and just gonna let it cook a little more now. Like that. All right, next thing is the clams. So I'm gonna add, let it boil, and then turn it down, add it. I'd probably say half the clams, depends on, sometimes I'll add the whole clam depending on how big the pot is. This actually whole pot might take the whole clams. You just want, basically, every bite should have some clams. And if you have leftover clams, I'd put them in a Ziploc and then freeze them for later. So you see how every ladle should be abundant of clams. And if not, just add more. It's better to have more clams than not enough clams, in my opinion. Alright, there we go. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take, if I have leftover clams, maybe the next day or the day, or a couple days afterwards, I'll make clam with linguine and Alfredo sauce. So that's it. Potatoes are about 3/4 of the way done. So next I add cream of corn, can of cream of corn, and then this is where I add celery stick and half the stalk of the green onions, the ones that need a little more time to cook. I think I put too much. Oh. I have to pull some water out. Alright, and you're just letting it cook, and hopefully I might leave now that the potatoes are done, I'll leave it open so that it'll evaporate a little bit and get thicker. I'll be adding flour at the end to make it thicker. Alright, next I'm going to thicken the sauce a little bit. What I did was I took out some broth, put it in here, put some ice cubes in there to kind of cool it off, and then I added some cornstarch in here and added a couple tablespoons of cornstarch, making sure it has to be cold so that you shouldn't be any lumps in there. If it's hot, then you'll get lumps of cornstarch. So I do a little cornstarch and a little bit of flour. Cornstarch I find sometimes works better. You can see it's still a little watery, but it's not as bad. Like the next day, the potatoes will actually be better. It'll actually be a little more into the sauce, and it'll make it a lot thicker because the potatoes are supposed to be what makes the clam chowder thick. But I'm lazy, so I'm gonna add some. There we go. And add that to boiling pot, and then you stir it, and eventually it'll get thicker in a bit. See, it's starting to get thick already. And then I'll top it off with some flour. Okay, this cornstarch made it pretty thick. I want it a little thicker, so what I do is kind of take a sieve. I don't have a shifter, and just shake a little bit in there. You do too much at once, what will happen is you'll get clumps of flour in there, and that's not what you want. You just want like flakes of flour, and that kind of helps. And just add a couple of flakes in there, and you continue to do it until you get the consistency that you want. And just know that after days, like overnight, the clam chowder will actually get thicker as well. As part of the process. And actually it's pretty good. You want to taste it now. See if you need any more cream, because you want to taste the consistency and make sure, see if you need more heavy whipping cream, salt. Mainly it's just whipping cream and salt. That's perfect. No more cream needed. Everything's there that I need. And now I'm gonna put my shallots in there, my fried shallots. I love these things. It's optional, but it gives it extra flavor. Sometimes I'll add also bacon bits, which also gives it a different flavor as well, and that's always good. So I'll let that cook a little bit, and then at the end I'll add the rest of the green onions and the cilantro leaves. So it should be good. Okay, the last thing we do, add a little cracked pepper in there. Give it a little oomph. And then cilantro and green onions. Green onions, some cilantro. And it's all ready. Yum. Look at that. So nice. Look how thick that is. Get every chunks of, I'll show you in a second. There you go. Yum.